There it is, AKAPAD Mangazine, Volume 1, Number 1, August 1985. Here we go. This is the greatest independent publisher in comic book history. Welcome to Antarctic Press, and we're going to discuss their first publishing effort and how impressive this really is. So get ready. Let's go. It's TGIF. Guys, it's Independent Friday or Independence Friday. I don't know what to call today. I just know it's Friday. And hopefully by the time you guys are watching this, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday is coming up. Because, guys, we do some pre-recording. We record in the past and we release into the future. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Got some growth. That's what she said. We got some new commenters. We got some new live streamers. It's a lot of fun. We are all go and no quit in my mission to bring you a complete view of 90s comics. Well, some of it starts right here today. I'm talking to you about Anartic Press. 40 years. This is like their 40th anniversary. I'm not sure if this is the official 40th anniversary logo. I started a deep dive with these guys. And the more I thought about it, see, we do Top Cow Tuesday, we do Wildstorm Wednesday. A lot of my comic book stuff on this channel started with Chaos Comics. But I've been digging around in just a way to formulate what really is the greatest independent publisher. Who's the one that outlasted everyone that's still here today? We have kind of two. We have Antarctic Press and AC Comics. AC Comics is so much far less revered, just because it does boobies and butts and but there's a segment of people that like those AC comic boobies and butts, if I can say that. Antarctic Press, they've experimented, manga for sure. Today's topic is Mangazine, number 1. But they've done American style comics. They've been, to Netflix with Warrior Hunter, the Warrior Nun Hunter, Warrior Nun. That's what I was. That's a Ben Dunn creation. And even Ben Dunn, went into Marvel Comics in the early 2000s to do the Marvel Mangaverse, which was actually really good. They never kind of brought that back. I always felt like they should. But today I wanted to bring you guys the formation and the birth of this company and how impressive of a first effort they have. Now they're dealing with, I call this local printer problems. You make a book, you bring it to a printer. Now this is all back in the mid 80s. And you would just say, hey, can you print this? Can you print a comic? I went through this back in the 90s in New Jersey. I would go to all the printers in Jersey and see if they could print books for me. And you get all kinds of things. You could, well, we don't do that paper. We don't have cutters for that. We don't staple like that. All of these things. So finding a printer, even back then, it's so easy now, but back then you had to have a good vendor. So we see some printing problems. The size of the book's not quite there, all these other things. But with those limitations, Ben Dunn and Antarctic Press give us something. We have a fully realized magazine. That's the crazy thing. For an issue 1 first publishing venture, this is insanely impressive. Here's the wild thing. A lot of times on this channel, when we go into newer comics, like something like the Rippleverse, or even something like your boy Zach's Jawbreakers, we look at it with the critical eye of first-time publisher. We have to, you have to kind of walk through the door with that precept. With all of that considered, with what the modern day guys are doing with their first publishing efforts, it is truly impressive what Ben Dunn has done with Mangazine issue 1 compared to even modern day efforts. This is a full, complete experience. You get your money's worth from cover to cover, inside cover to inside back cover, corner to corner. We have content. We have things to read. We have things to look at. We have things to educate ourselves on. Then what do we get with mid-80s manga? It's a lot of pack labor. It's a lot of Gundam. It's a lot of military mech drama. Now, we can see, because I have issues 1, I think 1, 3, and 5. And I love the cover for issue 3, by the way. We're going to see like the first 5 months of what these guys were able to do. They're already pushing new books. They're previewing, like there's previews of issue 5 and issue 3 that pay off. Their publishing schedule and their management is, it's nothing but impressive. I would, like there's a side of me, and he is available. He is on Facebook, but there's a side of me that just wants to go to Ben Dunn and say, like, you have to show us how you manage this. This is what's valuable. It's not the work. Everybody wants to say Gold Digger and this and that, and some of the Gold Digger editions of the first appearance. I think they're like $100-$150 books. Very impressive too. But yeah, like all of this revelation to me, where I would have said what Jim Lee did with Wildstorm, what Mark Silvestri did with Top Cow, those were like really 2 solid independent ventures. I think Brian Pulido with Chaos Comics. I even think Pac Lee and DreamWorks or Dreamweaver, DW, as I like to call it. Like a lot of these, books, they were big time independent, but they haven't stayed independent. Like Top Cow being the one exception. We have to consider Anartic Press of being the greatest independent publisher in comic book history at this point. And I'm happy to bring you their first effort. This is, to me, somewhat of a monumental episode. So let's go. Guys, we have our introductions. We gotta say hello to our spiritual advisor, Stephen Hughes from Chaos Comics. And don't forget our mascots, Crypt and Pike. Guys, they're always with us. They're always in our hearts. So here it is. Mangazine, issue 1, issue 3, and issue 5. On Fridays, we get into like black and white goodness. All right, black and white. Hopefully they're newsprint. Oh, right, like that's what we want. Some people might call them outlaw comics. That is a erroneous term. But previously, we've done The Adventures of Captain Courage. We've done Savage Ninja. Upcoming, we have The One right here. We've talked about Snowman from Hall of Heroes and Eternity. Clown Shock. We've discussed Clown Shock from North Star. We're going to get into the entire Grips trade paperback. So I'm showing all of this off because I just want to let you guys understand. There's a full commitment to the black and white era of comic books. To make a point, we have to get into the Kevin Eastman's Peter Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles autobiography. However you pronounce this. However you pronounce that. We get into the early pages. Where are we? The history, right? These guys started a business, the birthplace of the Turtles, Mirage Studios. And a lot of people would say, book 1. Here we go, guys. That's history right there. A lot of people, even comic book historians and all these other guys out there, they'll say that the Turtles #1 is, and Mirage is the greatest black and white independent publisher of all time. Mirage Studios fades into the night, right? They're not a completely strong company. This guy, Eastman over here, he spends a lot of his money off into Tundra, and you know, he gets fleeced with Tundra. But Tundra brings us to Crow. But, you know, like, a lot of these efforts are short-lived, right? Like a solid, like, 10-year run, we can kind of argue. That's not this. These guys are still publishing. They're still going. Ben Dunn and these books are still going. I had no idea my edition here was autographed. So we can, and this one too, isn't that cool? So we were just talking about this on stream, how often you buy books and you don't realize that they have a signature on them. Because back in the old days, you know, the creators would sign on the first page. They were kind of like even sign it at the bottom. This cover for issue 3, it's not only the illustration, but it's the coloring. And I don't know why. The coloring for this just jumps off the page for me. And we can even see, we have like a range of covers and ideas. Like I said, like animals and pack labor, kaiju, right? Military black and white drama. Look, don't be left out. Reserve your copy of Extremely Silly Comics. Extremely Silly Comics comes out. Tiger X prologue. Look at this prologue. Look just how much you have to read. And guys, we love stories like this. A divided country, like a new civil war. You know, like kind of like new technology, new tech. It's still a formula being done today, but you know, like that is one hell of a nicely drawn Jeep. So part of where this is impressive is you kind of want to ask yourself, like, how much direction is Ben Dunn, like, and crew, like, how much direction? But look how nice this is right there with those zippy zips. How much direction are they given to some of these other talents? Because there's a level of consistency with the art here. And I want to say, if I put together one of these, I'm going to get someone turning in artwork that I know I can't use. Look, and we have a publishing problem here, right? Like, so now, was this drawn in the Mark II squad? Mark II squad. I love that name. Arrival, part 1. This is clearly drawn in the style of a Square manga book. But we're publishing for American audiences, so we have borders at the top and bottom. But even this, like this, not quite there skill-wise, but definitely there and impressive. Like the use of blacks. So I don't know if Ben Dunn is looking at the artwork coming in and maybe sending some of it back or communicating to what to change. Look, even here we have Mighty Mouse. Come on, guys. Mighty Mouse cameo in Mangazine #1. We also have Lupin here, who I absolutely love. The Lupin books, the Lupin movies are really memory hold. But yeah, next issue, issue 2, right here. Ready to go. Already advertised. Arctic Blast. Love that letters column. Even that, look, the little dude just blowing the wind. So we get into issue 3. Look, we're advertising Mangazine issue 4, Extremely Silly issue 2, G&G Hobbies and Comics. They, you know, these guys are out of Austin, Texas, local company advertising. And then we just get, like, Ben Dunn really illustrates. He's you can tell he sees it in his mind's eye. He sees it and he can do it. But even the rendering for here is already a couple steps up from, we can say, like the first effort. We can already tell, we can see the transition already. But I love it. I just love these round helmets for these mice. Just, I mean, because you know, like it just invites like cross hatching and shading. But again, too, though, like great use of blacks. Look, Mark II squad. Look, that black is centered right here. Is that foreshortened? Does that look right? No, it doesn't. Could this be better rendered? 1000% yes. But there's a flow to this And flow is hard to determine. That brings us into it. We can argue about how well it's rendered. But we have good action we can follow. And then look, we're moving on. Coming soon to Mangazine. Isn't this crazy? So we're in issue 3 and they're advertising what's happening in issue 5. Dare I say, the only way to get people to work like that is you have to have a payroll. You have to kind of pay people. But look at, I mean, the detail here. It's just nice. It's just nice. And I love this up. I mean, get stuff like this. This is just, you know, they call this world building, but where we see the uniforms, the patches, we get all the info we need about our giant mech boy, enemy lines, like straight up fantasy. People might say this is like a furry story. I mean, look at this too. Like they're on these like eyeballs. So by the time we get to issue 5, I mean, it's a full-on kaiju fight with repercussions because we have a news story that runs. And it's not quite there, but so I call this like the grays. It's not the blacks, but the grays come in. And they just fill in the areas where the eye might say, I don't like that. So this is what I mean about, is there like how much direction is coming in from Antarctic Press? Because you already have a battery of artists. But this is a great shot here. The kids on the bike in the forest. Look at the layers of the forest right here. Nicely done. So by 5, they're leaning into, making this a complete experience. Like the formatting is better, the positioning of the page, or like the way we experience a page. Look, the mighty tiny, and we just get really good action here and expressions and characters. Look. It's page 49. Recon here, yeah. And this is, look at this, dude. This dude just gets his head, like right here. We got the sniper, and this dude just gets his head, like, nuked right off. But a bunch of different stories. Here we go. Mighty Tiny returns in a full-length tale starting in Mangazine, issue 7. So they're at 5 here. They're already pushing issue 7. Look, what? You don't carry any Anartic Press? Ninja High School, Tiger X, Extremely Silly Mangazine. So they're already pushing 4 books this early on in the birth of the company. Comic shops isn't right, because you have to tell your comic shop to order it. That you still have to do that. This is how much the comic shop model has never changed. You still have to do this to this day. This is wild, guys. And look, even if we get, I know we're missing some issues, but this is a lot of content while you're doing other books. Like the way that this is managed is very interesting to me. All right, guys. Yeah, I just want to, I feel good when I highlight stuff like this. I really do. When we get into books and things that people forgot, that people that put the time into it, is absolutely satisfactory when I get to bring these to you guys. So thank you. Subscribe, support as always. Give me a comment. Let me know you're out there.